Just like, it was kind of just like.
Freshman year, I never came back. I had it in my class every day. I used it to wipe the chalkboard. I see it's in my room right now.
Is this the order we're presenting?
No. I already have one group has volunteered to go first unless they change their mind.
You're volunteering.
You volunteered. Okay, so first is I'm ready. Two. So who wants next?
Us.
Three. So it's 2, 3. I saw this first. Sorry. 2, 3, 4. 1. Definitely 1. Oh, we just had 5. So group 2 is first. Yes. Group 3 is. So it's 2, 3, 4, 1, and then 5. Okay. There are young students with us today. So if you speak the language, or less. My kids' school likes to do half days, so they get like 11 of them of the school year, which is great for working parents. So that's what it is. They can also participate. All right, so this, I was looking at the syllabus and realized that we didn't do quiz 4 on Halloween weekend. So this assignment will replace, or your evaluation will replace the score of quiz 4. So as long as you answer all of the questions and turn it in, we'll get credit for it. And you can either turn it in at the end of class, or if you feel like you need to stew on it, you can upload your quiz sheet by Sunday night. All right, so everybody is ready to register next Monday to Thursday. Wednesday at 11:58 p.m. We're good there? Nobody has questions about registration? Sure. And then depends on the class.
Here to talk about one of my transfer credits that has a transfer.
Yes. You still have the link to my calendar.
Yeah.
Set that up. If you are considering dropping classes, as in there is no way you can pass the class at this point, today is the last day to drop without having extenuating circumstances and extra paperwork. So I think right now you can just drop class. So today at 11:59 p.m. is the last possible time to do that. If you drop before 5 PM and you have questions, there will be somebody at the registrar's office, but after 5 o'clock, there will be nobody. But today is the last day to drop classes. So if you are sitting at that point where you might not pass something, or there's no way possible you can pass, then that's something to think about for today. Lake State Scott Talent is tonight, so there's your CAA opportunity. And then assignment 4, which is the one that I handed out, is due Sunday. And don't forget to turn back your clocks this weekend. Anybody have questions? All right, group 1, you have the floor. Let me pull up your. Yeah, if you're doing slides and you want to share them with me so that I can just pull it up easily, you can do that. Share or email.
We all dress fancy.
Yeah. Okay.
I think mine's first.
Yes. We went downstairs.
Yeah, we did it in the order.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, here's our presentation on stress management.
That's not ours.
That's not ours. Oh, it's not. I'm confused.
It's up on there, but it's not on
Yeah, it's
ours.
different.
But it's there, so just, do you need the?
Why is it on
Yeah.
someone else's though?
I'm confused. I don't know how this works. You guys have notes in the slide that you need access to.
Oh, so we just need to like.
Let me do something else.
I know it's going on, so.
That's fair. That's fair.
Me too. Right now.
Yes.
I'm not even paying attention to the board stuff, just waiting for you guys.
Gotcha.
That's me in every class.
They're very sassy.
That's completely understandable.
I love.
Where do they get it from?
That yours?
Yes.
I was a lucky guess. I would like put everyone but
Okay.
ours.
Oh, okay, cool. That works.
Alrighty, here's our presentation on stress management. So, for my cause of stress, I did too many responsibilities. When you take on too many responsibilities, you can't really do anything effectively, and like everything becomes subpar. So it's a lot better to do a few things really well than to do a lot of things poorly. So try to like limit the number of responsibilities you take on. And then for me, I manage my stress through yoga and meditation. I find it really helpful to just kind of like take a break, take a step back for a few minutes, and like calm my brain down and then get back to work. It makes me a lot more efficient and a lot more effective.
All right, for my side, I did my cause of stress is unhealthy relationships. This can go with relatives, parents, significant others, and friends. If you have a friend that's bad influence, they can affect your grades and that makes you stress out. And then your relatives are like, oh, I don't agree with your major, or I think you're too stupid for that major. It really stresses you out and you doubt yourself. Parents may say, well, I'm not going to help you pay for college for that. And significant others can be demanding of your time, even if you need to study for a test. And my management of stress is just take a self-care day. Get those people like out of your life for that day if that's what you prefer, or just cut them completely out of your life. You can drink some tea, take a nap, use a face mask, play video games, just go on a little adventure. It can be just driving, going to Wendy's, just treat yourself. And just take time away from your phone, just let yourself focus completely on you.
I'm gonna find out if I'm sorry. I didn't-
Did you want to?
No, that's great, thank you. Don't let the tea influence your grades.
It's self-care. We're trying to help them calm down their stress and relieve it a little bit with tea. It's a good method.
Exams are in less than a month,
Drink some tea and just
so
study.
take some tea. Do you want some tea? I would totally just break that up. Okay, so for mine was piled on schoolwork, so I don't know about everyone else, but like lately I've had like 5 essays at a time and a bunch of other stuff on top of that, and that can really make you feel like you're drowning, never ending, and it's gonna start affecting things more than just your grades, like your mental health and your mood. You could get sick from like lack of sleep from staying up, and your social life's probably not gonna be very good either. And for management, I said reaching out to others. So like talk to someone else in the class, maybe, rant about your assignments to them. It might help you get motivation to push through that and finish the assignment, or it might just make you feel better about it that you're not alone in that stress.
And my main cause of stress is doing presentations, especially public speaking in front of others, of people I don't know. I mean, peers are all right, but still, a lot of people can have it and become your worst nightmare. It just makes everything, it adds on to the pressure and makes you feel like you have to do everything perfectly, so everything doesn't seem out of control and like just very bad, especially when it's group presentations. These guys are great personally, but other group presentations can go bad, especially when someone doesn't do like their work and stuff. I put that in the thing so you didn't think they were bad. So stress management is just realizing you can't control everything, you can't stop everything. Like I have to do this presentation, so I can't control the presentation. So letting it realize that it's not all in my hands and not all in my control helps it go down and simmer down. But their stress managements are probably way better than that. But it reduces your overthinking capabilities and not preparing for a nuclear bomb and during your presentation.
Alrighty, who here procrastinates? Yeah, me too. You know when I got up? 20 minutes ago. Let's go, procrastinating, waking up. So procrastination, the definition is just delaying or postponing something. Like I just laid in bed for about 2 hours this morning. I won't lie. It's like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up. Here I am walking in nearly late because of that. That is a form of procrastination. So I procrastinate a lot of my work. I am very guilty of this little picture. I will not lie to you. So I found that no matter what I do, my brain is just like, do it later. And then that causes me a lot of stress because that causes me to have, I don't know, like 10 assignments all at once, especially those essays that they were talking about. Yeah, 5 essays at once. Not a good time, not fun to procrastinate. So how I like to deal with stress management is I like to read. I grew up in a family where reading was like one of my first memories. So for me, that relieves stress. So I find it really nice to be able to just take a step back and read someone else's words and try to be like in a new story. So I like mystery. So I like being able to put myself into that and be like, okay, what's happening right now? Like, this is somebody else's life, not mine. So it gives me a minute just to step back and take a break.
Yeah. Another form of stress management is watching a video or watching something that you enjoy from a time when you're less stressed. Where's the mouse support? Okay. Yeah, just making sure. This is a meeting. You can also play Call of Duty. It's not. It's like. Okay. And watch vines.
We apologize for the ads. This was not intended. This is just stuff from our childhood that I'd like to share. Just a minute of it.
Chicken is almost as juicy as my ass.
Oh, sorry. We forgot they were children. We didn't stop them.
You get.
There we go. That one's appropriate.
Where should we put this trash? Right over there with the people who pretend to misspell things, so it looks like they freaked out on the keyboard, but it's spelled just correctly enough.
You seem like an air.
Okay, there we go.
That's all we need. I'm sorry. We apologize for that. We didn't expect
It's the
children to be
second
watching.
one.
I wasn't even paying attention.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're very appropriate.
5 off.
You got it. Go.
We failed immediately.
Give ourselves 5.
Whoever's not Warlock, I'm also related.
I shared.
You did.
No.
You did earlier.
No.
Like, are they appropriate to do
I would
the
just,
first
yeah.
one? Whenever you're ready.
This is our presentation on stress relief. I'm Colden.
I'm Felipe. I'm Justin.
I'm Jason.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Jackson. So there's a lot of different types of stress. There's like body stress, mind stress, behavioral stress, emotional stress. They all, different things cause all different types of stress. So like emotional stress, if you're always depressed, you're always down on yourself, if you have trouble pulling yourself out of like bad moods, that can cause you a lot of stress.
Body stress is any sort of like physical pain. It can also lead to like bad gas or like vomiting if it gets very severe, but any sort of like physical aches or pain pretty much.
Anytime you get stress in the mind, it's usually caused by worrying, overcomplicating things, thinking too hard about stuff, I guess. Making decisions, if you're indecisive, you can be torn between two decisions, and also having negative thoughts towards yourself all the time.
Behavior stress is another example. Definitely leads to erratic behavior, being agitated, moody, so it could lead to insomnia, loss of appetite, so on.
Stress is a physical or emotional demand. It affects everyone differently, and there's no saying like how could it affect you or anything. It just treats you differently for who you are.
There's a lot of things that cause stress in our lives. And a few of those are anxiety, depression. If you're really worried about things all the time, you're probably not going to be doing well in anything. Homework also can cause a lot of stress, as well as classes and schedules. Things get piled up and stress always builds.
So for me, some things that cause stress is like worrying about grades and passing school, getting a degree finally, juggling time for like getting work done, managing my time, being able to get things done and be with people and work on my grades and get what I need to done. But I mean, working out and exercise really helps with that, takes my mind off things, helps me relax after the fact, and then taking a hike, doing anything outside, being in nature helps a lot. And music usually helps a lot too, calm me down and fill me up.
Oh, that was not how it looked on the computer, but so a couple things that stress me out are school and like homework and stuff, and just pretty much everyone knows school is a big stressor in all of our lives, and it's like our main focus. And so one thing that really helps me with that is taking breaks and just knowing when I'm going or when I need to take a step back and just take a breather rather than trying to get everything done immediately. And then another thing that stresses me out is my family worrying about me, calling me at random times. And so I've incorporated some time management strategies, trying to open up time slots to where I can just have a on the phone conversation with them for like 30 minutes. And then, then they're not bothering me and I'm not bothering them. And then another thing that stresses me out is computers and presentations not working, and some coping mechanisms would be to click the presentation mode on Google Drive before you come to class so that it doesn't look like that.
So I deal with stress by playing hockey. Pretty much just playing hockey or watching it, breaking down plays on YouTube or anything kind of gets my mind off of it. Also driving is therapeutic for me, clears my mind. And also cannabis brings down my anxiety and helps me sleep. So it helps me establish routine.
So some stress factors for me is definitely schoolwork, dealing with family, and having that unknown X factor of what life is going to bring you. So some things I cope with that is going to the gym, exercise, playing basketball, playing video games with my friends, and having a good time, and just basically getting away from stress and just enjoying life.
A lot of the same things stress everybody out, but when I'm feeling stressed about work or school, I'm always gonna go out fishing. I like being outside. It's always nice to be out in nature when things are getting hard, especially if you've been stuck indoors studying all day. Getting out and doing something is always a great idea. I like fixing cars, playing lacrosse. Anything to get you out, anything that you like doing is always a solid escape.
And pretty much goes like school stresses me out the most because I have a hard time just doing it and wanting to do it. I worry a lot about money, like how I'm gonna get to school and how I'm gonna like pay my bills and stuff. So that's a big thing. And anxiety gives me the most stress because it's anxiety and it just messes with me a lot. So the things that I could do is like talk to my teachers and try to go to school more, try to do school more seriously and get a job. That's pretty self-explanatory for my money problem. And I talked to a counselor about my anxiety problems.
She likes to sleep on
Alright, so this is stress. Alright, so this is stress, what it is and how to deal with it. I'm Tom.
I'm Patrick.
And I'm Josh.
What is stress? Stress is the feeling of being overwhelmed or unable to cope with mental or emotional pressure.
Effects that stress can have on your mind can include severe anxiety, which can lead to depression. It can make you irritable. It can give you memory and concentration problems, as well as giving you impulsive behavior. Maybe because you're in a rush, you have under pressure, you have a lot of stuff to do, and it can make you mood swing.
So another way it can affect you is your body. So things like headaches from potentially overworking, stressing yourself out, can also lead to muscle pain, fatigue, and all that can really just kind of affect your sleep. And sleep can definitely help with your productivity. So with the lack of it, you're probably not going to be at your best throughout your day. Upset stomach and some more crucial things that can happen are irregular heart rates and increased blood pressure. So it's really negative for your health.
Examples of stressors are like homework or laziness, like procrastination, like they talked about. Due dates, teachers, like we talked about in the beginning of the year with bad teachers, if they're not emailing you back or helping you at all and making things just generally harder. Projects, family issues, like a death in the family. Getting sick causes like falling behind, so you have more work to do. money or job issues, or even just relationship issues?
Ways you can deal with stress, you can take a walk, go on a drive, get some fresh air, even get you outside, think about something else that isn't what you're stressing over. You could meditate, eat some food, it's always good to have something in your stomach. Or just do something fun, like watch a movie, play video games, pick up a hobby, so anything that can get you active or something you actually just like enjoy doing that can get your mind off of really anything, or you can talk to your friends and family.
Okay, so this is how to avoid stress for the future. So basically you can try and get your work done on time, budget it out, plan out different times in your day that you can set aside for school, and then maybe focus on yourself. Take time for yourself. If you like to take a nap, play video games, or just sit back, watch a movie, call somebody. Study effectively. They say that if you study for 25 minutes on, take a 5-minute break, and then repeat that, it's pretty effective form. You get that done, you're going to learn more. Get enough sleep, eat enough food. Without it, probably be irritable. And exercise, reduces your stress, gives you a break, kind of relieve all those negative emotions that you have. Set goals. So whenever you get something done, you can reward yourself, whether that might be candy or whatever you think. And then try to stay off too much social media. You get stuck in the traps and it can really use up a lot of your time.
How a stress-free environment can help you? More productivity with less distractions. You can get more work done. You'll procrastinate less. Cognitive strength with mental strength. Have more mental strength. Can control your weight better because you have more control over what you're taking in and how your body breaks stuff down. Just works better, which goes into a better immune system. You'll get sick less because you're not destroying your body, and then you just have an overall better mood. How we deal with stress? How I deal with stress personally, I like to go out with my skateboard or just do anything physical that I can. Try to get out of my room and feel like I'm doing something with my life. I also go for drives, seems to be very common here. And sometimes I just go for walks just to get out and clear my head.
When it comes to stress for me, I'm a very big procrastinator. I like to put everything off to the last minute, and then that can just lead to feelings of worry, constantly. That's not good. So how I deal with it is I'll either I like to exercise, I like to run, so I'll do that, or maybe take a nap. It's one of the best things I like to do. And then anything like that, maybe watch a movie. Just like spend a night, like get all the work done, and then spend my night doing what I want and then relax before going to bed.
And how I can deal with stress, how I usually deal with it. I do like exercising, working out, and also just get your mind off of one thing and put it onto another. I really like listening to music sometimes when I'm clouded head, just gives me the right mood. And I also dabble in chess. I play chess a lot. That's helps me deal with stress.
So let's review. So we have some effects that it can do to you. You might have mood swings, fatigue, and that's overall negative for you. So you should try to avoid stress as much as you can.
Examples are schoolwork, due dates, or teachers.
Dealing with stress can put you into a better mood, get you happy, get you in the right mind.
Try to avoid it for the future. Think ahead, exercise, budget your time, get your schoolwork done.
Benefits can be productivity, immune system, overall better health to allow you to get more work done.
Thank you.
Are you in the chess clubs?
Yeah.
Group one next. You guys have a computer you're gonna use, right?
Which one should we do on? Okay, yeah, because we have a link.
Yeah. I just log into it. it's what account, it's not. Yeah. I'm just having to log into our, Oh. Yeah. So there's a couple of things I noticed while they're pulling up. How many of you, like 4 years ago, would have said that you used cannabis to relax in a classroom setting?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. I mean, if, let's say you were like now 4 years ago, but before any of this was legal, A, B, there was a program, nobody would have said that probably as a way to relax. And then also the same thing with anxiety. I don't think that, I feel like that's become a lot more, or there's less, yes. And so people talk about their stigma or the anxiety and that they're going to counselors and stuff like that. I think that's really great. So thank you for sharing that for those of you. Is that, you girls ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so here is our slide.
Yeah, so we just gotta. Okay.
So stress. I'm Buddha.
Oh, I'm Emma.
And I'm Jessie. Lauren's not here, but she will be virtually.
Is she the YouTube video?
Yes.
It's the one they
go.
don't play the video. Why is it playing? It worked.
That's like 14.
Yeah, we just played it. Yeah. It's there.
Yeah. You just have to hear it, like you don't have to watch it.
It's still not being played.
Okay, you know, we can post that on.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I can put it on my.
It just
Oh, just to
explains.
hear it, if you
Yeah.
wanna do that, yeah. Yep, yep. Oh, also the slide that happens with Google Slides when you convert it to PowerPoint, that's what I had to do before that.
Okay.
So that does happen. The one way to get around that is to pull it up ahead of time and like practice, but.
Okay. I don't know if we'll be able to hear her.
Stress is the feeling of being overwhelmed or unable to cope with mental or emotional pressure. There's 3 kinds of stress. There's acute, episodic, and chronic. Acute is when you worry about little things like homework, work situations. Episodic is when you worry more about things like family, friends, personal issues. Chronic is when you have like a situation such as PTSD, that's something that you can't forget about or it's always on your mind. You experience stress when situations, events, and people make demands on your body and mind. But there's also 2 kinds of stress. There's good stress and bad stress. Good stress is a type of stress you feel when you're excited, so that's when your heart's beating really fast, and it can be example as preparing for a trip. When you're packing for a trip, obviously you experience a lot of stress making sure you have everything, but it leads to a good event. Bad stress is when your stress builds up around us. So that can be a feeling of being anxious, and this can cause symptoms like headaches, sore stomach, and more when you are stressed about bad things. Also, people aged from the age of 18 to 33 experience the most stress, and this is proven by the American Psychological Association.
Thank you, Lauren. No, it was okay.
Okay, so what causes stress? So in general, we think like the main factors of all of our stress is school, family, friends, sports, work, and relationships. So specifically, what causes my stress, I would think the most is tests, whether it's preparing or like right before as you're waiting for the teacher to hand out the tests, and also dance competitions. I've also learned now to kind of have like cope with that, even test and my dance competitions.
before I used to get like very stressed out, panic, but now it's more just, I kind of have to take a step back, realize I've done everything, like tests in advance before, so I know I'm able to do it. Lauren's was balancing work and school. She still has a job and has to balance school, so she's lucky that she has like good bosses that allow that time management.
For me, golf is one of my main stressors, and I worry about that because like I have these high standards for myself, and I like have accepted that I just can't meet those every time if people do have bad days. I like try not to get down on myself, but like if I am having a bad day about it, my go-to, like I go for a self-care day, like I light a candle, take a hot shower, or I exercise as a way to get that out. And then school, like getting good grades, that stresses me out when I have like a C or something. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I failed this test, my grade could go down. But I just been like, oh, I can get it up, like I know I can do it.
My stressors are, sorry, my stressors are studying and financial aid because I'm paying for college by myself, go me. And trying to get good grades. How I relieve that stress is with paintball, or something don't have this here, so I change a little bit. So I go for nightly rollerblading. So that's what I do to get my stress more relieved.
So signs of stress. So some of them could be your stomach hurting, you're sweating, fidgeting, like in your hands, tapping your foot, low energy, or it can be complete opposite. I know when I get stressed, I like go crazy. Racing mind, biting your nails, headaches, you're easily aggravated, and you're also like not happy because you're like your mind, like I said, is just nonstop racing.
So some positive coping methods are exercise, because exercise helps release your endorphins and it kind of helps to reset your hormone balance. Meditation and yoga are very common because it calms your mind and body. And during those two, you kind of focus on your breathing, which leads to helping calm your body. And then you can reflect on some positives and take that time to focus on something else. Taking a break from social media also helps, because oftentimes social media is a factor on our age group's stress. And then it also allows you time to focus and do other things to help that, because a lot of us fall into the TikTok trap where we're just sitting on there for hours when we could be doing something of self-care or something productive. Journaling is also kind of something that's not as common, but it helps to relieve your emotions by you writing it and releasing it. And you can kind of get over some of your problems easier and can come up with plans to deal with them. And for emotion focused and problem focused, there are some like different coping methods that could help. Problem focused is more doing something about it, and emotion focused is kind of just letting it go and taking care of yourself. Some negative coping methods, which is a lot more common than positive coping methods, is drug and alcohol. And that also can play like into bad like dependency and stuff like that. Bad eating habits. So people either like binge eat, like stressy is a lot of common things, or you just don't eat at all. Procrastination's a common one. Spending money, stress shopping, which can lead to gambling and other things like that. And then anger, not asking for help, and negative thoughts such as I can't. Those are all signs of negative coping.
Okay, into all the informational and supporting data. So the impact of stress. So what stress is when we encounter a stressor, and it makes a chemical reaction between two hormones, which is adrenaline, which prepares the muscle exertion, and cortisol, which regulates bodily functions. When the stressor is really frightening, it can cause us to freeze and become incapable. Sadly, it's very psychological. So 51% of adults report feeling depressed, 61% feel anxious, and of those who have felt stress in their life, 16 have self-harmed, and 23% have suicidal thoughts and feelings. The inner workings, which is the brain. So we have the hypothalamus, which is that thing right there. It is the command center, so that's what triggers the whole thing of you feeling stressed. So how it works is there's a gland, what's it called? No, it's adrenaline gland, okay. It's a sympathetic nervous system, which pumps the hormone epinephrine, which is also known as adrenaline, into the bloodstream. And the just set this the stress signal, never say that word. Amygdala, thank you. Amygdala is a stress signal, so that's what sends the whole woo woo, you feel stressed. How this works is it has the wiring effect. So like how you have a positive negative charge and it causes like a little firework going off. That's what it is causing. And that's what causes our body to have fast reaction. So say there's a car coming to you and you jump out of the way, and like, how did I just move? Like, I didn't think about moving, your body moves on its own. That's what's causing. There is a second stress response, the HPA. So what that is there's a gas pedal and a brake. So the gas pedal, which is the hypothalamus, releases a corticotropin releasing hormone, which is CRH, which travels to the gland, triggering an adrenaline corticotropic hormone, which keeps your engines revved, so you're always high on that stress. Then it causes the brake, which is the cortisol, which brings that down and causes you to relieve that stress. So it's a lot of just chemical reactions in the brain causing you to feel these emotions in your body to respond. All of our sources are from Mental Health Foundation, University of Wisconsin, and Harvard Medical School.
And then we do have a Kahoot for like a kind of review thing.
It's just short, so if you guys don't have to go on your computer, your phone quickly.
It's just 9 questions. I don't have my phone. My phone's up there. Trying to see if I think it's hard.
We can have the Zoom thing and then load up the next presentation. Or do you have?
Thank you, Laura. Do you have wings at all?
No, one time I tried flying.
I tried to. It didn't work very well. I have too much
jumped off
gravity.
the trampoline. I thought that might work.
I tried. No. I tried going off the swing. Like you swing and you jump off. Didn't work out very well.
And I just jumped up and down the schools because there's no.
Whoa. Yeah, I don't do that.
One time I let go of my umbrella and I was.
That's good, right?
Really?
Yeah.
That's when you guys
Is everyone in?
No.
Yeah.
All right. Then what do you do?
I think we have to go
One
back.
time I almost jumped away. What's
Kahoot. It's a gaming system.
What do you do on it?
There should be something where you start to
It's
play.
right there. You see the little start button. Yeah.
Kahoot.
Oh, it's gonna do the question.
Yeah. True or false? Alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs help to relieve stress.
It's true.
Are you sure, Wayne?
No, there's a couple.
No, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Quizzes. Because you guys even said yourself that they are stress leaders, not good ones.
That's tough.
True. True or false?
Oh, that's totally.
I guess last thing says not to.
Oh, those two people. Okay.
Honesty.
was true. Celeste did pay attention. I wasn't paying too much attention. Occasionally I fall out of the
Wow, that's what you.
False, false, false.
Oh, sure, time is
False.
up.
Oh yeah, 'cause it's red. I can false.
Mine is supposed to be doing a quiz, you can't tell them all the answers.
Just get them all right.
Yes, it's
Nope.
really good.
Why should you tell them after? Don't. I am too. I think I found one big section. Right.
Alright, this will be the last one, so we can get to our last group.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That's definitely a no.
So Caroline, you're in first place.
Nice job. Now you have bragging rights now.
Where did my paper go? So I'm Audrey, if you don't know me, I'm Jayla, and we're gonna talk about stress management today. What is stress? Stress is our body's response to pressure. Many different situations or life events can cause stress. It's often triggered when we experience something new, unexpected, threatens our our sense of self and security, or when we feel like we have little control over a situation. Sometimes this stress response can prove itself useful. For instance, like pushing through the fear or pain of something in order to achieve it. Like, yes, you are stressing, but you are ultimately achieving the goal you wanted to. However, too much stress over a longer period of time can cause negative effects. It can leave us in a permanent stage of fight or flight, leaving us overwhelmed or unable to cope. And this can really affect our overall mental and physical health.
Okay, some causes of stress could be school, being away from home. Me personally, I've never really been away from home in a long way. So money problems like paying for college, work when they're not really accommodating towards your school schedule can be stressful because you don't really have time for studies, or you might just feel overwhelmed. Family, just, family issues.
Family and outside.
Bad self-care is another one, just like not taking care of your mental health properly. Oh, that was an accident, my bad. Oh, it's the first one. Oh, yep, yep.
No.
Thank you. Some ways we can identify stress. Physical symptoms often include like aches, pains, like we've said probably here today before. We've had exhaustion, trouble sleeping is another big one. Headaches, dizziness, muscle tension or jaw clenching. I'm actually guilty of the jaw clenching one quite a bit when I am stressed. And then weak immune systems as well. And it can also lead to anxiety, irritability, depression, panic attacks is another big one, and then just overall sadness. And stress adversely affects your body and your life. It can affect your sleeping schedule, like we've said, how you eat, how you interact with people. In times of high stress, it's hard to know how to alleviate that stress and the things that cause stress. And then we do have a short video that kind of talks about how stress affects your overall daily life.
My job is to make
After that ad.
seen as something we need to avoid. This is not true. We need stress, and we need our body's stress hormone cortisol to rise and fall throughout the day. Stress helps us wake up in the morning, helps us focus, learn, and remember new things. It's when people experience too much stress and start having difficulties coping that stress becomes a problem. High levels of stress can disrupt the natural changes in the body's stress response system and start to affect our physical and mental health. Over time, accumulated stress can result in false FFF response activations. When trying to measure our stress tolerance, the bucket analogy can be helpful. Our stress tolerance, or the size of our bucket, is a product of our genes, personality, and life experiences, and its size varies from person to person. The water in this analogy is the combination of all the stress in your life. We use the coping strategies we have available to keep our bucket from overflowing. They are like taps that allow water to drain from the bucket. Stress can include training, work, school, relationships, finances, moving, changing jobs, or the loss of a loved one. Both positive and negative experiences will affect the water level. A big bucket can hold more water or stress before it overflows. With a smaller bucket, less water is required for the water or stress level to become critical. While you can't change the size of your bucket, you can make life adjustments to reduce water coming in. You can also learn new coping strategies and stress management techniques to allow water to drain out. Mind tools, exercise, quality sleep, relaxation, and sharing your feelings with friends are some examples of effective water taps. Staying up late, sleeping in, drugs, inactivity, procrastination, suppressing or ignoring problems are examples of unhelpful coping strategies or false taps. They might give temporary relief, but actually result in water flowing back into your bucket.
Unhealthy ways to manage stress, which can also cause you to have more stress. Too much TV, just not doing what you need to do, which could dig you into a deeper hole. Excessive alcohol consumption, self-isolation, something I personally like to do. Over or under eating just could be from being overwhelmed. Sometimes you just may be too busy and realize you didn't have time to eat. So partying too much, lashing out on people, oversleeping, and pretending it's not happening. Healthy ways to manage stress could be reading. I personally like to read, listen to music. Exercise is good, but not overdoing it. A change in diet will also help. Sometimes what you're eating is just not good for you, and it could make you feel worse. Trying to talk about it might help. I personally like to call my dad. Find a hobby, animals to help, and try to treat yourself. And breaks are okay. Sometimes you just need a hiatus. There was a video, but nobody had fun.
Yeah, I don't know if we've got time for that second one, but like Jayla said, she likes to listen to music and read. I personally like to listen to music, and then I actually like aromatherapy lotions as well. And I like to sing a lot. So when I get stressed, it's like I'm always singing. That way I can just feel my emotions and then get on with it and go on to the next thing. And then in conclusion, stress is a normal part of everyone's life. Everyone experiences it in one way or another. It's recognizing, like he said, that that bucket is full and that you do need to do something in order to alleviate the stressors that have been implemented in your life and are causing you ultimately issues every day if you don't deal with them properly. And it's never a bad thing to ask for professional help too if you guys are experiencing stress to a level that you don't think you're capable of handling yourself. But that's what we've got on stress management for you guys.
everybody. And if you are wanting to go to counseling but are afraid to walk over, I'm happy to take you over there if you want. Okay, if you have your sheets done, you can turn them in. Otherwise, you can submit them to Google.